Okay, so there is a right way and a wrong way to criticise Jeremy Corbyn, and this is the wrong way. A tie is a mark of ambition. Jeremy Corbyn alarmed me by wearing one, as it showed he craved power. That's a really stupid thing to say, Charles Moore. I mean, there are loads of things wrong with this headline. For a start, I don't care what you're alarmed by. Don't tell me about your feelings. Tell me about something factual that's happened. And if the factual thing is Jeremy Corbyn wore a tie... do you know you're wearing a tie in your picture, Charles? Every politician craves power. That's the point of becoming a politician. It's asinine to sit there and go, oh, Jeremy Corbyn craves that. Yeah, we know. We know. He goes on about it all the time. That's not something on which to criticise him. It's really dumb, and it's the right-wing equivalent of 2 scoops of ice cream for Jeremy Corbyn. Okay? It's not a thing that you need to criticise him on. There's loads you could criticise him on. You could choose literally any speech of his where he said something that's just counterfactual.
In Britain, look at the disaster of Grenfell Tower.
See? Politicising disasters is not good. It's not a good thing to do. It's not something that was done deliberately. This was something that was an accident. Don't get me wrong, it might have been set up to happen, in a way, but you can't sit there and go, well, this is all my opponent's fault, especially as there were undoubtedly Labour councillors and MPs involved along the way. But Jeremy Corbyn doesn't care. He's just raking the muck at this point. And, I mean, that's something legitimate to criticise him on. But there's more.
Not one of those people need or should have died. Every single one of them could and should have been protected.
That's such a silly thing to say. Tragedies are by definition where people don't need to die, and they do. That's what makes them tragic, Jeremy. But anyway, let's carry on.
But somewhere along the line, there was a whole system that led to them living in a fire trap. I take my hat off to the fire brigade, the ambulance workers, the paramedics and the police who went in there to try and save life.
Except he didn't. He absolutely didn't. I mean, everyone was complaining that Theresa May didn't go down and give the victims hugs like Jeremy Corbyn did. But she actually did go down and see the paramedics and fire workers and speak to them personally. I mean, I don't want to defend Theresa May, but she genuinely did do this. And Jeremy Corbyn, again, it's the most gross kind of politicking where he goes down for half an hour. He was there. He gave a couple of cuddles. Oh, I'm so sad, I'm so sad. Right, I need to go to the next fucking disaster. He's basically the political equivalent of an ambulance chaser. It's really gross. And it's just something you could absolutely wring him out on. I certainly would. And he now claiming, yeah, I love the paramedics, love the police. It's like, no, you didn't go near any of these people. You had your own agenda and you filled it out. You got the photo opportunities, and then all of the left-wing bourgeois papers decided to print, look, Jeremy Corbyn, he's so nice because he spent half an hour hugging victims of a tragedy that he's going to try and pin on the Conservatives, which I think is probably unfair. You know? But hey, Jeremy Corbyn, he's a fucking saint.
And the utter hypocrisy of government ministers and others who queued up in the chamber over there in the House of Commons to heap praise on the emergency services the following day to cut their wages by refusing to lift the pay cut.
He wasn't cutting their wages. It's just not rising in line with inflation. And I appreciate that this is, you may say, well, that's a distinction without a difference. But unfortunately, we are currently having a problem with public sector pay and finances. We're running short. And we're coming into what is undoubtedly going to be a downturn in the economy. So we have to be sensible. I mean, Jeremy, why don't we just pay them all £1 million each? Why not? I mean, they're the fire services, they're the nurses, they're the heroes who keep this country functioning. So why not pay them 100,000 a year, or £1 million a year, or whatever? Why don't we, Jeremy? We'll just tax the corporations, won't we? It doesn't matter, does it? Because what you're saying is just counter to economic reality. Unfortunately, Jeremy, we can't just, once you raise them up on a pedestal, then you get to the point where it's like, okay, what's your rationale for not doing any of these things? Reality? Well, we've been ignoring reality because of our feelings this whole time. Why should we start paying attention to reality now?
For older children who want to go and get an apprenticeship, want to go on and achieve in life their skills, their ambitions, their dreams, too many of them are foiled in that because they can't afford it. Foiled by college fees. Foiled by the loss of EMA.
See, I don't even know if this is true because, I mean, everyone can get a loan to go to university. Everyone. It's not available to the poor. As far as I'm aware, anyway. Maybe it's changed since I was at university, but as far as I'm aware, even poor people can go to university if they want.
Foiled by the huge university tuition fees that they're being charged.
They're not, though. They're given a loan to cover this, and their living expenses. And yeah, they have to pay it back after they leave. That's the purpose of a loan. And you know, I was the first generation who had to go to university with a loan. Before I went to university, everyone got grants. It was rather annoying. But still, I still went to university and I didn't starve.
I say instead, tax the corporates that we can educate the young.
Yeah, because we can't educate the young people. If we don't basically appropriate the wealth of the corporations, we can't educate our young. Don't worry about the fact that record numbers of students are going to university, Jeremy. Don't worry about that. We can't educate our young. The corporates are sucking up all that money or something. Oh, no, it's alright. It's only that this is increasing year after year after year. And the thing is, people are starting to wonder, hang on, are too many people actually going to university for degrees they don't really need? And the best example of this is forensic science. Because of the popularity of forensic science programs, lots of people have been like, oh, I'm going to go to university. I'm going to do a forensic science degree. Maybe you shouldn't. Because, seriously, nationwide interest has soared, with 8,685 undergraduates and postgraduates studying on more than 100 forensic and archaeological science courses last year, according to HESA. That's up 12% from 2005. The government is actually closing their forensic science service, but even before that, as they say here, even before it was earmarked for closure, there was already a mismatch in supply and demand. They employed 1,600 people, and not all of them scientists, and as we've already covered, with more than 8,500 people who will be competing for those jobs. It won't be worth their time to get a forensic science degree. In fact, it's getting to the point where you've got websites like forensicOutreach.com say 5 reasons you shouldn't take a forensics BSc and what you should do instead. Let's have a quick look. I mean, they literally say, look, score a competitive master's degree instead. A forensic science degree might strike you as interesting, but your future employment prospects are broader, with a wider range of laboratory and research-based skills if you attain at the undergraduate level if you complete a life science or physics degree. As in, you have more opportunity. Explore the lab bench in the courtroom. Do something else. Take time to explore related fields. Do something else. More academic career, a large check. Do something else. Focus on a niche subject, something no one else is doing. Do something else. But Jeremy Corbyn, oh, why don't we tax the corporates that we might educate the young? We're educating the young. Unbelievable amounts, to the point where we've got too many educated people and not enough jobs for them to go in. It's just... But don't worry, Jeremy. Don't worry, it doesn't matter. None of this matters. But at the end of the day, you've got an idiot like Charles Moore going, oh, Jeremy Corbyn's tie really scares me. Don't be a fucking idiot. This is just the 2 scoops from the Telegraph. And this is a premium article as well. I can't even read the whole article. I can't even imagine what kind of asinine crap is in this article. I'm not even going to look.